All right, guys, today we got a special guest in the house. This man has been doing this for 30 years. He doesn't get the props he deserves. I mean, he's held his own with some of the biggest legends. I'm talking about the one and only Illa G.
Yeah.
Yo,
Slap
G, how you doing
bacon.
today, man?
Slap hosey bacon. That's the common thing.
That's the common thing?
That's the common thing. Slap hosey bacon. If you're an Illa G fan, you know it's slap hosey bacon.
Yo, you got some of the illest lines though, bro. Like the illest titles, you know, when it comes to your albums and everything.
Yeah.
But I wanna start at the beginning, you know, so that people can understand where you came from and how you got to where you are today. So you're from Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
Were you born in Brooklyn?
Yeah. Bed-Stuy.
Bed-Stuy, right. The home of the spitters.
Yeah. I know that it sounds different nowadays. You know what I'm saying? You got the MCs. You know, spitters sounds different now. That, you know, you gotta be careful.
You got to be careful with everything now, right?
Yeah, everything.
Yeah. It's not the same anymore. Did you grow up with any siblings?
Yeah, my brother, older brother.
Older brother?
But I do have an older brother and a baby sister, which her birthday was the other day on my father's side from my pops.
Okay. But you mainly just grew up with one older brother then?
Yeah.
And how far are you guys apart in age?
5 years apart.
Oh, so he was like showing you a lot of things then.
And if he's my biggest influence. Him and my cousin is my biggest influence to rap, to MCing, yes.
Right, because he was the one that rapped and your cousin was a DJ, right?
Yeah, but they both rap.
They both rap. Okay.
They both had they had a crew. They was part of a crew together.
And what did your parents do for work when you was growing up?
My pops did different things. I've heard different things about my pops. My pops was a crooked cop.
What?
Yeah, my pops was a crooked cop. He used to rob drug dealers and shit and get my cousin and them to hustle for him. And my mom's worked for the IRS.
Oh, damn. So she had a good job.
Yeah.
So what was your relationship like with both your parents growing up?
I mean, my mom's wasn't a talker, really. My mom's really wasn't a talker. She was, you know, come to find out later on, my mom's was well, I knew she was a fighter. Like, I'm talking about literally a fighter. And my pops, like, he was cool, you know what I'm saying, talk to him, but, you know, we had a, you know, okay relationship, but, you know, it wasn't, my mom's wasn't, like I said, my mom's wasn't really a talker. She would just, like, come home. She never complained, though. I never heard my mom's complain.
So were they together when you was growing up?
For a hot second, they was together, then they broke up. She kicked them out the house.
So then you was mainly being raised by your mom?
Yeah.
And then like your dad would come by like every now and then?
No, I would go visit him. She didn't want him to come by.
Oh, okay. And so what do you remember like about your pops and your mom that influenced you the most, like coming up?
I mean, I know my moms used to fight. My mom fought a lot. And my pops, I don't know, it's just like, I mean, he tried to run his own business. He was doing electrical stuff, but my pops, I mean, looking at the whole thing, hindsight now, it's like, he was like a hustler, pretty much. He was a hustler, you know. He wasn't really like, yeah, I mean, my pops really never taught me anything. Only thing my pops taught me is you don't buy jewelry to be scared to wear it. Like all the real stuff that, you know, that should make up a man, an individual. Nah, he didn't teach me that. My mom's neither. You know, only thing I learned from my mom's is you don't let nobody put their hands on you. And that, like, knowing who they are, it's fitting.
Right.
It's, like, it both matches, like, fitting. It's fitting.
But as you're like growing up, like, are you yearning for that kind of relationship with your dad?
I'm young. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It would have been nice. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? But you know, who knows how they was raised? So it's different. You know what I mean? I know
Gotcha.
now. You know what I'm saying? I try to influence the things I learn with my kids. So
Right, because now you're in that position, so you got a little bit more of understanding, right?
right, right.
So do you remember when you fell in love with hip hop?
When my cousin used to build turntables. You know what I'm saying? I used to watch him and watch him battle, my brother and them rhyme, you know, seeing all that stuff. Like it was I was young. You know, they used to sneak me out the crib and like, you know, my cousin moms used to work at nighttime and sometimes we'll go spend the night at my cousin crib and they used to babysit. And, you know, they wasn't missing no party because they had to babysit me. So they used to take me with them to the party.
Wow. And did you grow up doing any other elements before you started rapping, or you just started with a mic?
In junior high school, I used to break dance and rap. I was part of a break dance crew in Williamsburg, not too far from my crib. It was RTR, Rock the Rhythm,
Okay.
and you know, I felt like accomplished. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to do the pop lock and stuff. I wasn't, you know, you don't. It was like a Spanish. It was like a Spanish and black crew, and we used to battle and everything, and that shit seemed like a fight. Like heart used to be racing, scared to death. You don't want to do no nasty moves and get booed. So, you know,
Can you still do some of the moves?
I could do a fake wave. That's the most that's gonna happen. Everything else is not happening. It's
No,
over.
but was you nice enough that you could like spin on your head and everything?
No, hell no. You don't like. Look, you stay with the pop rock and the shit, and you know what I'm saying. Do not get on the breakdance floor. You don't do that. You
No.
don't do that. That is not your forte.
So then, like, at what point did you like realize, like, yo, like I actually like rapping more than I do breakdancing?
I mean, my first rap was when I was about 9 years old. I wrote. That was like my first rap, and then you know, I listened to my cousin play all these tapes. He used to have all the tapes and stuff, and hearing all that, like the flashes and you know the Kumo D's and everything. So you know, he had I don't even know how he got them or where he got them tapes from, but he used to have all of them. And trying to stay up with my brother. Like I remember back in the days, like 12 o'clock used to seem like forever. Or let alone 2 in the morning to try to listen to Mr. Magic. My brother used to like try to find the right station or to try to get it. I used to pass out, man. I was like, nigga, I can't wait for this shit. I'm going to sleep.
Do you still remember the rhyme?
No,
No.
no.
But was it like a battle rhyme, or do you remember like what kind of
Nah,
rhyme it was?
I really don't know. All I know, I called some girl a prostitute in the rhyme. It, that's all I know.
So at 9 years old, you already knew what hookers were and everything.
Yeah, you from the hood. You know where everything is. Of course you did.
Right. So you came through. You had a couple of different rap names before you settled on Illa G, right?
It was one, and it was destroyed by Craig G. Because I was going to be Greg G, Greg. And then Craig G came. I was like, it's over. And so then it changed. So then after a while, every time I rap, people would say, yo, that's ill, that's ill. So I just went with Illa G.
Dope, man. So you're born in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So around that time, hip hop is being created, right?
Hip hop is actually before the 70s. People don't like to acknowledge that, but
right, but you know, it depends on who you ask.
It's the term hip hop. Maybe the term hip hop was in the 70s, but Flowers was from Farragut. And so, you know, Brooklyn and Queens was doing it from what people say way before it was in the Bronx.
The unification of the elements, right, is like more in the 70s, but like a lot of the elements existed prior to then.
Yeah. Like the groove, like, because I used to wonder, like, you know, it made sense once I seen this thing. It was called the founding fathers of hip hop, and basically a lot of stuff talked about Brooklyn and Queens. you know what I'm saying, with the DJs like Grandmaster Flowers and, DJ Charles in Queens. And then it was just like the sound crews. And a lot of them, this was like 68, 67. And you know what I'm saying, if you're playing the groove of a record and you're not playing the most popular record, that's pretty much hip hop. But it was just the term, they didn't have the term hip hop then.
So would you say then that the Bronx deserves the credit of, you know what I mean? Because the Bronx is mainly credited for hip hop, starting hip hop, right?
Hip hop started in Brooklyn, man. The term hip hop, let's go with the term hip hop started in the Bronx, but it was being done before that.
Okay.
Like, just look it up yourself. Look it up. The founding fathers of hip hop. It's on YouTube. Look it up.
So do you believe that there was an impact and influence from like Jamaica and from, you know?
Of course it was.
Okay. Because you know how like today there's like a lot of arguments about who was there at the inception of hip hop, when it was created. And
of course it was. Of course it was.
Have you watched Microphone Check, the documentary? No? But you know what I'm talking about, right? With Tariq Nasheed and how everyone's been debating about these certain things about when hip hop was really created. And
if I, like I said, the term hip hop was in the Bronx, but people was doing that. Like, all of them got to go to, some of them, I even got into it with a guy online, was like, oh, Flowers used to play disco music. That's in the 70s. Before that, when he was in Farragut, plugging the stuff into the light post, playing the music, that's it. Same thing. Then you got Queens, you know what I'm saying? It was just a lot of the people, even, DJ Hollywood was talking about, they was, like, they didn't hear nothing from, that's there. This is what they're saying. I'm not making this up.
Right.
Like I said, look it up yourself. They was like, yo, we were doing this way before. We ain't heard nothing from the Bronx.
What do you think about the debate that Puerto Ricans helped co-create hip hop, and how like Fat Joe said it was 50-50, and then, you know,
like why you can't deny, why I don't even understand why we even doing this, because of course Spanish people was there, man. Like that's crazy to not, if we coincide with each other naturally in the hoods, how not Spanish people wasn't there? Like how was that? How was they not there?
Well, I think that people, they start to debate like, okay, at the inception, like the creation of it versus contributions along the way.
Everybody, to me, everybody was there. Like it was a part of, it was a Latin Black thing. It happened. It was different elements to it. They was there. Why was they not there?
Yeah, because when I interviewed MC Shan, he said that the Latinos, they dominated certain elements more than others, right? With the graffiti or the breakdancing, maybe not as much with the rapping in the beginning, but he said that a lot of the fashion was coming from the graffiti artists and the breakdancers as well.
Yeah, the jean suit, you know how much it was to, like, you know how big that was to have a jean suit back then? Unless you have somebody smart enough to put acrylic and paint on the back of it, like with everybody had all of them each side had a part of it. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm. So you're in Brooklyn, you start really coming up in the 80s, right? That's like when you're like more of that age, and that's during the crack era. You're walking the streets of Brooklyn as a kid. What are you seeing? Like, take us through that.
Brooklyn was pretty dangerous then. Very, very dangerous. If you wasn't tough enough, like, you need to stay away from downtown Brooklyn. You need to stay away from, like, we used to have a skating rink down the block from my house. And mostly everybody from Brooklyn would either wear red Pumas or blue Pumas. So all the criminals would wait by the J train, by the skating rink. And basically you can tell who wasn't there. For Brooklyn to wear that type of jewelry and all that other stuff, you had to be about that life. And to see, you know what I'm saying? Like, from what I've seen, a lot of people used to wear that jewelry because of the culture. And now, you know, people would come from different places and you got this fresh sky blue Pumas on or some different color Pumas. They know you're not from there and you was getting flipped upside down and your shit was getting taken, earring snatched, chain taken off. Like that, there was a dangerous skate rink down the block. And that was like real little. In the 80s, like the 80s was different, man. Like the 80s, shell toes, Adidas, everything. Like they had, it was tough back then. Like I'm more the, like the 89 kids. That's when I probably started fighting in about 88. Like really, really fighting 88, but 89, different.
So, like, when you're walking the streets during this time, are you seeing a lot of people hustling? You seeing people like crackheads and stuff?
Yeah, you're seeing crackheads, you're seeing a lot. I was trying to avoid everything. I didn't want to be caught in no situation. And, you know, it was a lot of fights. And I mean, the words, it sounds worse saying it than thinking about it, but you've seen a lot of stuff, let alone, you know, things going on as you're growing up. Because if you don't fight back, you're finished.
Right. How do you think you as a kid was processing all of this at that time?
Well, young, I mean, we just wanted to have fun. I mean, we did a little things that was a little out of control back then. You know, what I would say, you know, I mean, we used to go to the hospital and bother the security guards. Um, we used to beat up pimps.
Wait, you as a little kid?
Yeah, we was about 12, 13. They used to have, like, they used to have prostitutes down the block and they was drug addict prostitutes. So we was to go down there and we knew the pimps was watching. So we would yell at the trick used to be a crackhead or whatever she did. So we used to yell at them knowing the pimps would come out. When the pimps come out, we beat the pimps up.
And what was the urge to want to do that?
Something to do.
Something to do.
That was our fun for the day. I mean, let alone we still played basketball, tag, all that other stuff. But, you know, it was just like little by little, things just started gradually happening.
And you're a father now, and the things that you've been through in life, could you imagine your children going through that at that age?
No.
But it makes you reflect back on all the things that you've been through at such a young age, right?
Yeah. Because it's just like I'm an explanation type of person. And like I said, my mom's wasn't a talker. So when I started thinking of things in my own way, you know, you come up with your own answer to things.
Do you think that you compartmentalized a lot of things that you witnessed because like you didn't have that like
Yes.
conversation with someone that was older to explain it?
Yes. Yeah.
How do you think that affected you?
I mean, naturally from everything you've been through, it's just, are you talking about like the street, just period growing up? Or,
yeah, just period.
I mean, now the question is, you know, I just wish I could talk to her and find out, you know, why. Not why of, you know, I understand why, but just like what led her to fight so much. Like it was almost like legendary of her fucking people up. The stories I've heard.
But you witnessed it a lot too, right? You saw her doing it too?
I mean, I've seen her pull knives on people. Men.
Wow. Have you ever fought in front of your children?
No. They will never see us anything I've done. No.
Because you know what that that feels like to witness your parent do that?
I mean, yeah, yeah. I never seen my pops get into it, but my mom's just like, it's just not like, it's just, I guess it was defense mechanism, but she was just, and to what I hear, from what I hear, she has the same attitude as my grandfather.
Mm. So her father.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you went to school of art and design, right? At what age did you start going there?
But 15, 16?
Okay. And that's where you met Prodigy and Havoc, and they were 2 years younger than you?
Yeah. By the time I hit the 10th grade or something, P showed up, Hav showed up. I remember them.
What was your first impression of them?
Well, Hav was actually nice, and I've seen some pictures Hav drew. Hav was nice in drawing robots. Shit.
So he was
And
like a
P,
real artist. He was like really
yeah,
like artistic.
artist, yeah. And P, Prodigy, unfortunately, I was gonna rob Prodigy. Like Prodigy had like chains on. And I was just like, oh, I'm taking that. Like that's automatically the first one I see, I was like, there's no way in hell he can have that. Like, no, I'm taking it.
And then you guys had like a mutual friend or something like that?
Yeah, my boy Terrence. He got cool with P. He was like, yo, son, the little nigga cool. And then, we just started talking, and it was just like, yeah, it became like my brother. In fact, it was my brother.
At this time, they're already rapping?
I mean, I didn't see them they started a little later because that lunchroom used to be mean at one time, especially 6-period lunch. 6-period lunch was a problem. Mm-hmm. Like I've seen people get destroyed. People used to bang on tables, and Kwame used to go to art and design. Pharaoh Munch, Prince Poe went to art and design. Pumpkinhead went to art and design. It was a lot of people. It was a lot of people. But
were you rapping?
Huh?
Were you rapping at the lunch tables at this time?
Not with the seniors, but me and my people, we used to have to come with a new rhyme every day. Because I think we was like, yeah, we used to have our little circle and we rap. And everybody used to say a new rhyme. It was like 1, 2, 3. It was like about 5 or 6 of us. And every day we had to have a new rhyme.
So people knew you as a rapper, or they knew you as like, what was your reputation?
No. In high school, I kind of used to beat people up in high school.
So you was the bully?
No, wasn't the bully.
Okay.
But you just couldn't. It was watch your tone. Watch how you speak to me. Don't speak to me out of tone.
Okay, so like you stood on business.
Yeah, as they say, yes.
Okay, got you. All right. So then you were around when they started working on Juvenile Hell, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I know that you were on the Infamous album, but you ended up getting locked up.
Right. And that's when everything was changing from tape to CDs.
What did you end up getting locked up for at that time?
That time was a drug charge.
Okay, so you were hustling at the time? Or
yeah.
You just, okay. And then how much time did you have to do?
That one I really don't even count that one because it was like 3 months.
Oh, okay.
So it was like a slap on the wrist, so I really don't count that, but yeah. But it was enough to make me miss the Infamous album. But they removed the song, like the song was, like they kind of, I think they took, once everything went from tape to CD, I think that's when they removed it.
Because the irony of that was that you were on the song of Up North Trip, right? So then you end up that happens to you, what you was talking about on the song.
Yeah.
And so they take you off of that song, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were you mad about that?
No, I understood. No? Honestly, my mind wasn't even. I mean, I like hip hop, and my biggest thing for me at that time, I just really wanted to rhyme on the radio. Like that, I just wanted to kill just to kill the radio live. Like, that would have been like a Grammy to me if I would have killed the radio live. Like, if I was able to sit there and rap on the radio, that would have
Oh, so
been the
you wanted to
climax of my.
call in and go off on the radio and just
No, I
that
like,
was
you know what I'm saying? Like, I think what? It was Pete Rock or Marley Marl, Pete Rock. They used to have a lot of MCs go up there and rap, you know what I'm saying? Like how G-Rap or Kane would go to the radio and rap. That was all I wanted to do. That was it. That was it. If I would have did that, you wouldn't have been able to tell me nothing.
right. But so essentially, you weren't able to re-record your vocals for that song, right? That's why you were left off of it.
Yeah.
So then you come out after the CD is already put out?
Yeah. When I came back from that little 3-month thing, when I came out, Group Home Superstar, Spark and Madism, and Shook Ones was everywhere. That was the three biggest songs.
But the Infamous didn't really like sell like that. It was more like a really respected album, right?
No, it was really respected, but Shook Ones moved that album a lot.
Got you, right. And so then at one point you rhymed with Biggie, right?
Yeah. Turns out we had mutual friends, and I actually forgot about it. But somebody I went to school with, 2 guys that I went to school with, Mike Bynum and Hubert, but Hubert is he's Muslim now, and I don't know his Muslim name. Like, they went to junior high school with me, but they went to high school with Big. So we went to his crib and we rhymed. And I remember, but I didn't know who it was. So years later, my cousin was like, you know Big, right? I was like, no, I don't. And I've seen him because I've been with P places and he walked through the door and P, they say what's up to each other, but I never put 2 and 2 together. But my cousin was like, yo, you know Big, right? I was like, I don't know no fucking Big. He was like, yeah, you do. He was like, remember the chubby kid we went to his crib with Mike and Huber and we rhymed? I was like, get out of here. He was like, that's Biggie. And I was like, wow.
He looked that different that you didn't remember?
I mean, we was junior high school. Like, I just got out.
Oh, so you were like 15, 16 at the time?
Yeah, we was young. We was young.
Do you remember how he sounded at that time when he was rhyming?
I don't remember nothing I said. I don't remember nothing he said. I don't remember no raps, nothing. All I know was we was rapping. And what's the name? Like, everybody liked what we were saying.
Mm-hmm. Was it more of a cipher or a battle?
It wasn't a battle. It was just rapping. We just, I guess, cipher. Yeah, we'll say cipher.
A cipher, okay. And then, so that must have tripped you out when you realized that, wow, that was the kid that...
I was like, that's crazy. That is crazy. I was like, that's crazy.
But you never talked to him again, like before he died or anything?
No.
But that's still a classic moment.
I was locked up when he died. Yeah. I was locked up again when he died.
Right, which brings me to my next point. So 1996, right? Mobb Deep releases Hell on Earth, and you're on the song Can't Get Enough of It. But you're also on the original version of Extortion, right? So, well, let's go with Can't Get Enough of It first, right? So, like, you recorded the song, like, what, one day before you end up getting locked up again?
Yep.
So you could tell I did my homework. So what happened? So you laid down the vocal and then you get hit with like another drug charge or what?
No. All right. Go back out of town. I had a friend of mine that was on the run. Not going to say what he was on the run for, but he was on the run. We go out of town. And common slip up, wasn't paying attention. Got caught. I kind of feel it may have saved me or delayed something because I had beef at the time and I just bought a new gun with a 50-shot clip And my plan was to come home and end the beef. And like, I called my homeboy that morning and was just like, yo, when I get back, it is on. And they kicked in the door and I got him.
Wow. So then you could have ended up doing life in prison instead if that didn't happen. That's crazy how the universe works, right?
Yeah.
So, apparently there was bigger plans for you after all. That's crazy. Some of the hardest things that we go through in life sometimes actually really do save us,
Yeah, I really feel that way because I've said it before. The mind state me and my people was in at the time, I wasn't ready for a record deal. There's no way was I ready for a record deal. No way, no possible way.
But you're seeing Have and Prodigy really start to become superstars at this point, right?
Yeah.
But you're not seeing like, hey, like I can be a part of this. Like I want to be a part of this. You're just like,
I mean, of course you actually want to be a part of it, but I also got to pay attention to the world I'm in.
Right, because I read somewhere that you were really focused on getting money at the time. Like that's what you really wanted.
Yeah, I mean that was where my mind was at the time. Like really, like of course I wanted to rhyme. I loved it. I love when they took me with them to see things, but also I know the harsh realities of there's gangsters everywhere.
Right.
And while we travel into different states, a lot of people want to see if you're really about that life. And
what
you
you're
have
rapping
to
about.
take precautions. You got to take precautions and be things. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be smart.
Right. So then you were on the original version of Extortion. They replaced your verse with Method Man. Why was your verse replaced on there?
They just said they wanted to do stuff with more people. But I actually feel I caught a body on the Extortion verse.
Yeah, you did.
I really feel I caught a body. Like it was just, I think everything just added up because if they would have left me on Extortion and then it would, I mean, like I said, like, maybe someone would have been like, oh, yo, we want to sign them. It wouldn't have been good. It would, honestly, like, it wouldn't have been good. Like, so ignorant at that time. Ignorant.
You mean that you weren't ready, or you mean that Havoc and Prodigy wouldn't have liked that?
No. I think they would have been all for it. I wasn't ready.
Right.
Because, like, my mentality was all street at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Street, not like street, idiot street.
Right. So did you record Extortion, that verse, on that same day that you did Can't Get Enough of It?
Maybe, probably, I don't know. Probably, I don't remember, probably. Or maybe the day before, I don't know. Because I know they was in Access Studio a lot. And that, that was like going there was like a break from the hood. You know what I'm saying? Because Access Studio, shout out to Dan the Man. Access Studio was in a penthouse, high, you know what I'm saying, the building. And it was an escape.
Right.
Watch things happening. It was an escape.
Did you get mad about getting taken off of that song because you caught a body on it?
No.
Because that verse was dope, though. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it was, but right now it's just, the thing is, it ain't about you. You know what I'm saying? That's their thing. Like, it ain't about you. You can't get mad at that. I mean, a lot of people probably would have gotten mad, but you can't get mad at that. Plus, like I said, my mind was, I would have been mad if I could, like, if they would have went to the radio to rap and didn't take me, then I'd have been like, oh my God, what is wrong with you? Like, how do y'all not take me to go rap on the radio?
So at that time, though, like before you got locked up, how far along were they on that album, Hell on Earth? Were they almost finished?
Yeah. Hell on Earth came out a day after my birthday. I would never forget that. November 19th, 1996. I got locked up in August.
Wow. So a couple months after. And obviously you have to finish way before you submit the album for it to come out anyways. So were you there like the whole time that they were working on that album?
Yeah.
So that album, people say, is like a much darker vibe, right? Like, what was the aura at that time when they're working on it?
I mean, it was just same thing. Smoke, drink, have sex, find chicks that's with the foolishness. And for,
Wait. You guys were knocking down chicks in the studio?
sometimes it happens, yeah.
Right. Were they going through like personal things at that time that made the album darker?
No, to me, I think the Infamous was more personal. The Infamous was a story about, to me, this is just my opinion, but the Infamous is more of a story of what was going on around him.
Right.
And I think Hell on Earth was more MC-ish.
Got you.
It was more like, MC type of thing, like, to me. Me personally, I think the Infamous is better than Hell on Earth. That's just me. But when I've seen, like, all the things everybody said about Hell on Earth, I'm like, word, really? I mean, it's not a slouch, but to me, the feeling, I guess, because all the things I was going through and, what I'm saying, and, going on in my life at the time, I related more to the stuff that was going on in the Infamous.
I think that most people would agree, though, that the Infamous is better, but Hell on Earth is like a close second,
Yeah.
So I think that's what a lot of people in the comments typically say. But how long did you have to end up doing for time? 6 years.
Yeah.
Right. After this, you're in prison, right? Basically, what is the experience like for you to do that much time? Like, how are you spending your time in prison?
I mean, I've read books, but also I'm far away from home. I can't, it's a different life. And you have to be willing to do anything to get your point across. Like if it had to be a point where I needed to take someone's life, I would have.
Right. So you just accepted your circumstances, like this is life now.
Yeah. You can't cry about it now. Can't. I knew what I was doing when I was in the street. So why cry about it when I got locked up? I knew the consequences. See, the two things going to happen when you're in the street: death or jail. One of the other.
Right. And I saw an interview where you spoke about that, right? Where you were saying, like, you know what you're doing when you're in the streets. So like you can't complain after the fact. Like, what comes with that life when you pick up that gun. Basically, you are agreeing to these terms. How is the food in prison?
Terrible. It's bland. It's terrible. They can't do much to it. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what type of allergies people have. So they can't really season it. It's barely the function.
But at that time, like, were you eating mainly from like commissary, or you just had to mess with the mess hall?
No, I mean, I stopped, once I got locked up, I stopped eating beef. And
personal choice, or?
Yeah, personal choice. I stopped eating pork at 86. Then I stopped eating beef when I got locked up. I didn't know then, but I felt like I was just going to get fat if I ate beef. So I was like, nah, I'm not. Then later on, I learned like beef doesn't digest in our bodies well. So, and then it's just like constantly I would play ball, work out, read books, and write rhymes.
At this time, are you having a strong religious affiliation of any sort?
No, I don't fuck with religion.
Okay, but what are you studying at this time?
Different things, symbolisms, origins.
Because I can tell by your music that you're very intelligent, and it has to come from you reading. You know what I mean? Like the things that you're talking about in there. So do you think that those 6 years prepared you for that?
Yeah, it's a different thing, like the books, and you learn about writing. I picked up a book on how to write characters. Just different things. I mean, I know about the things of stuff that was going on now. I read it in books back then about, basically African Americans and white people mixing race Like that, they were saying that would have been a plan of the future. A lot of TV shows showing mixed couples, the whole snitch factor of bugs. You know what I'm saying? They got microchips that, they had a bug that can hold a microchip, and, what I'm saying, how they get kids to tell on you, get your own kids to tell on you in the house, and a whole bunch of stuff.
So you were studying a lot of things that some people would deem today as conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
And we know that Prodigy was really into that too. So did you guys have a lot of deep conversations about those type of things?
Yep. Sure did. Sure did. But especially when you get into symbolisms and, what I'm saying, because one thing may mean one thing, one thing may mean something over here, but it's taken and means something totally different, like the swastika. The swastika is really about, the four seasons. But as far as, the Germans, they turned it and they bent it against nature. So it means like something totally different to them.
Right. So when you're locked up for the 6 years, are you spending a lot of time, feeling threatened of any sort, like your life is like in danger at all, or you just like you feel ease?
When you're in jail, every day your life is in danger in jail.
Are you doing things that land you in the hole like at all, or you was pretty like trying to stay out of trouble?
I mean, of course. I mean, I smoke weed. Luckily he didn't charge me because it was really a bullshit thing. I mean, unless it was something that was very necessary, because out of a camp of 560 people, because I wasn't in New York, I was in another state. And
where were you at?
Virginia.
Virginia, okay.
And of a camp of 560 people, it was only 10 of us from New York. And not even all 10 is from New York. Maybe like 2 of us is from Jersey, once a year. But out of 560, there's only 10 of us. So wow. It's just like, if it came down to it, yeah, we, what I'm saying, we would have to like go to the yard or whatever. Luckily, nothing happened while I was there. They didn't get that serious. Of course, there was arguments and whatever, so on and so forth, but it wasn't a dance. Nobody can say that, yeah, I used to fuck Elegy up in jail. Like, no, they can't say that.
But you saw a lot of fucked up things while being locked up, I'm sure.
Oh, of course you see fucked up things, but you're just trying to, all I know is the quote, like, some of my people that I've met in there, we would say, we would say our mother's name and would say, like, I would be like, Queenie's son is going to make it home.
Hmm.
Like, regardless of anything, Queenie's son going to make it home.
So, in New York, it's such a fast-paced place to live, right? The lifestyle is such go, go, go that a lot of times you don't have the time to slow down and really evaluate things, really, see where your life is going, ask what it is that you really want in life. In prison, all you have is time, right? How did you feel when you finally got that chance to slow down?
I mean, you just know, well, one, I know I like women, and I don't want to be locked up around men all the time. So that is a serious factor. And then there was something that an OG of mine said to me that makes total sense. And it was like, the second bid, your second bid hurts the worst. Why? Because you know better.
Wow, yeah. So then you're really kicking yourself at that point. Like you're saying that.
Yeah, you like that. When you get that second time you get caught, you feel like it's like, I know I shouldn't have did it again. But who knows what people's circumstances is. Everyone chooses that. And I was just like, you know what? I didn't make it to super drug dealer with the kilo, and it didn't happen. So why continue on this path when it's just like, you know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, my cousin and my people that I was with, they all wound up doing at like 20 years.
Wow. So 2002, you come home, right? 2003, you put together Body Music, your first CD. Right?
Yeah.
And you produced most of the beats on that.
Yeah. I tried my hand in beats, and I do not have the patience for it.
Did someone teach you how to make it, or you just like hit the MPC?
No, I used to watch Havoc, Prodigy, and Alchemist.
Wow. Okay. And what was that process like putting together your first CD? Because if I'm not mistaken, nobody helped you on that. Like Mobb didn't help you. You did that on your own.
I'm a watcher. So if sometimes, many times I went, especially even when from Juvenile Hell and Prodigy bought that studio equipment at his grandma's crib in Long Island. When they used to make beats, I used to just watch them and just sit there. Then once they popped off, the same thing. If I come to the studio and have it making beats, I would just shut the fuck up and watch them. Because you're putting a puzzle together. I like puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, and I just took my shot at it. And I've learned that I don't have the patience for it because I'm picky with beats. And even a lot of the shit that I made, I used to be like, oh, this shit is trash. So I understand when Havoc and other producers be like, oh, I don't like this shit. People be like, oh, this shit is crazy. And I just don't. It's too much of a fight for me.
But did you ask like Havoc, or did you ask like any of them like, hey, what do you think of this? Like after you had made it? No? So you just put it together yourself and just put it out?
Yep.
And Prodigy did appear on that, right?
And Prodigy was always a dope supporter. You know what I'm saying? He hears something and be like, fuck that. Let me rap. We rhyming on.
Right. And how do you think that first CD came out? Like, were you happy with that?
Yeah, at the time, yeah. At the time, yeah. I mean, I'm still proud of it because, I did it. And you know what I'm saying? I learned by watching them put an album together and, songs and so on and so forth. So.
And even better, you did it on your own, though, with the limited resources that you had at that time, right? Coming out of prison, and you were able to have the strength and the patience to do it on your own. Because a lot of people in that position could have been like, yo, you guys are my mans. Like, why don't you put me on? Like, how come you not helping me?
I mean, you just feel like they don't owe you shit. They don't have to.
Right, but a lot of people have a sense of entitlement.
They don't have to. You would, because, I mean, at some point, because Hav told me when I did Extortion and Can't Get Enough of It, Havoc is the one that said, yo, I don't think you should go back out of town.
Wow.
And my thing was, they had, all right, the dude who mastered their album name was Mario Rodriguez, right? They had a thing there where it was a 24-hour lockout. I forgot how much it was. But when I came back up at that time, I overspent money. So I needed to get a lot of stuff back. So it was just like, all right, Hav was going to do like 4 beats for me, like a demo or whatever. And I was going to pay for the 24-hour lockout and knock out those songs. And Mario was like, yo, I'll mix it for you for free. Like, I'll mix it for you. Just pay for the studio time and I'll mix it. And I was like, cool. So when, Hav was like, yeah, I don't think you should go out of town, I didn't want to, like, ask them.
Right.
Like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It just felt like, to me, it was like, they already got enough on their plate. I don't want to be, like, just sitting there with, like, waiting, like, yo, could you do, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, let me go. I was like, yo, let me just go one more time. And I'm going to get the money to pay for the studio and everything. And I'll rock out until whatever happened. And I got locked up.
Was it because that you were seeing a lot of people kind of like on their hip already, kind of being like waiting for an opportunity?
No, it was just me. It was just like,
that's your personal preference. You don't want to be like that.
Yeah, and people just think, like, if you look at it, the stuff that they got, and this is not being educated on the like the labels and the fucking everything with that stuff. Like contracts and all that other stuff, and all of this is being very negligent of that, of not, not educated on that. But I can just see the everything of going through, of trying to put the music together, getting the songs right. Then, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course they wanted to show love. Of course, you know what I'm saying? Yo, come to the studio, hang out, chill, smoke, see a different environment.
Right.
Right? And then it's just like, how do us, basically, I didn't know how to say it then. I had to learn later on, but it was just like, how do I make myself valuable? So if they see me do this on my own, it's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm just here be like with the handout.
Right. But at that time, before, while they're working on Hell on Earth and you're appearing on songs and everything, was there any talks of, you getting a deal or anything? Like they wanted you to get one?
I mean, Hav was with it to work on me on the demo. Because I made my own demo before. You know what I'm saying? Bless his soul, Chris Lighty listened to it. He liked it. He took it to people. They passed on it. But Chris Lighty liked it.
Right.
Practically snatched it out of my hand.
So one of the most notable songs you've appeared on, right, is Hold You Down with Prodigy, Alchemist, and Nina Sky. What was that studio session like?
It was pretty simple. They was already working on it, and Pete called me and was like, yo, come to Manhattan, come to Al crib. And I just went there, and when I heard it, and it was like a common thing for us because we used to do it in Prodigy's basement. I was like, oh, I like this. Let me rhyme on this. And he was like, go ahead.
So was the song, the hook, everything was pretty much already done?
It was no hook.
Oh, okay.
If you look at it on Infamous Allegiance, there's no hook on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just pretty well. I think I had like 22 bars on the thing. Like it was just raw. It was just raw. We, you know what I'm saying, did it. And P was before his time. P understood like U2 and the DVD era and all that other shit. So, and then to my knowledge, it was Al and his brother Neil, which shortened it, got Nina Sky, and, worked it that way.
There's something about like your voice next to Mobb Deep's, right? Like you guys have like this amazing chemistry. Like you could have been the third member. You know what I'm saying? Like what on that song you said, I don't care if it's the president, I cock my shit, right? Did you receive any backlash from that? Because, like there's been artists that have said things.
No, I just needed people. Basically, that song is to all my friends I'm close to. My neighborhood is a different neighborhood. Like people don't understand my neighborhood is a shooter's neighborhood.
Right.
Like really, like there was shooter's neighborhood. So it's just to my close friends. It's like, yo, I'm here. Like I'm here no matter what. And I don't give a fuck who it is. I don't care if they're the opposition. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if it's the president. I'm cocking my shit and we going out.
But you know what I mean, right? Because people have said things in a similar vein and mentioned just even the word president, and like they've been visited by the Secret Service and stuff. Like I didn't know.
No, nothing.
Nothing. So with that song, it being so big and you being known for it, does that ever get like annoying to you? That's like the main thing.
Before I used to think about. In my mind, I used to be like, that's old. Be like, oh yeah, I'm doing new stuff like that. Like nobody's still gonna remember that, or I don't want to be hanging on to that. Like, yeah, yo, like that's the only thing I have. Like, so it's just, and then somebody had to make me realize, it's like, yo, just think, a lot of people never had that,
right?
And it was just like, all right, because at one time I stopped performing. I'm like, that's old. Like people going, you know what I'm saying? Nobody going to care. And, a few of my friends was like, no, they care. Do it. That's
especially
a hit record.
There was a music video too.
Yeah, that's a hit record. Do it. Do it. You should perform it. So, and then I just started seeing the response. It was like, oh, they was right.
With Alchemist, what year did he start coming around Mobb Deep?
It had to be around what, 98, 99? Because I know I was locked up, and P used to send me pictures. And it scared me when I seen the picture, because he looked at like this, Al, one picture that I got, Al almost looked like this gangster dude in East New York named Frank Nitti. And I was like, Jesus Christ, it kind of looks like.
So it wasn't the Fed thing? Because, you know, like, I think like they've said in the past that like Prodigy didn't trust him for a little bit of while because he was worried that he might have been a Fed or something like that.
Don't know. That I don't know of. That I can't speak on.
But like when you got out, then you started to interact with him, and then immediately like you guys bonded.
All three of us are Scorpios. Me, Prodigy, and Alchemist are Scorpios. So it's just, you got to have a pretty much understanding of each other.
Did you find that it was interesting that this guy that is from Beverly Hills, right, was not from the hood? He's not from the hood, but he fit right in to what you guys love to do and what you guys were doing.
I mean, he liked hip hop. You got to realize who his mentors is. Cypress Hill.
Right.
So what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Just because you're not from the hood don't mean you can't make dark music. You know what I'm saying? One of his idols is Premier. So, you know what I mean? He's another that chops things up and, you know, and makes a song, a beat.
I think that's dope, you know, because like, I think sometimes we fall into stereotypes and people don't give somebody an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And I think that if you're dope, you're dope. Like you can't even argue with talent, right?
You can't even argue it.
Yeah. So in 2007, you released Bullet in a Bracelet, right? Can you talk about that album and the mindset that you had at that time?
That was my new version of saying diamonds and guns. Because I told Prodigy about my cousin and his homeboy, they didn't buy clothes, all they bought was diamonds and guns. So Bullet in the Bracelet was the new version of that. And you know, I'm just shouts to Team Demo with Bullet in the Bracelet. They out of Northern Virginia. And it was just trying to understand where I'm going with a new sound. Because I also listened to Prodigy, because I was on some real super MC shit at the time, and he was just like, you're going to have to dumb it down. People not going to understand it. And, you know, I wasn't really catching on then, but, you know, we did quite a few topics back then. So it was a cool mindset to be like in our own space with someone, and we're developing this project together.
But at this time, you're still doing it independent, right?
Yeah.
So was there no talks about you signing with Infamous or anything? Like they had a G-Unit situation at the time, right? Because I think
at the G-Unit, no, not at that time. No, that was later on.
I thought G-Unit they were with like in 2006.
I don't think so. I don't think it was. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. I thought it was a little later, but probably, I don't know, probably. I know they was with it, but I can't remember the exact year of it.
Yeah, because Blood Money came out in 2006. That's right.
Okay.
But at that time, there was no talks of you signing with them or anything?
I mean, P tried to get me a deal, like a small deal with Baby Grand. You know what I'm saying? That's about it, really.
But you were happy doing it the independent route because you got to do it the way you wanted?
I mean, learning it, I've had the freedom is awesome.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if I would have got into it with the whole deal situation, like that would have been, you know, I can see that could be angry and tiresome from not knowing the business side of things.
But the beautiful thing too is that you never felt pressure to make this type of song, right? Like, oh, you got to make this radio song, you got to make this girl type of song, everything. And usually when you sign with a major deal or something, you get that kind of input, that pressure that you got to do this, do that.
But also, I could have had a deal. I was in talks with a certain label, and I I made those songs, the radio songs, and they pretty much was like, "This is not what we want to hear from you."
Oh, wow. Okay. Can you say the major?
No.
No, you can't. Okay. All right. What was that like for you then to get that kind of feedback?
What offended me was them saying, we want you to talk that street stuff. You know what you do. Talk that stuff, that street stuff you did. I got offended. They did, like, if they would have worded and say, yo, we want you to tell your story, that's different. But from you to be like, talk that street stuff you do, that type stuff you do, I got offended and told them, fuck you.
Was the execs white?
Yeah. And yeah,
so it kind of felt like we want you to sell your trauma in a way, basically that bullshit.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. Because I don't think really the street stuff and music, I don't think that should be put on record.
Yeah, because I've seen you do interviews and you've spoken about that, where like you said that it comes out here and there, but you try not to go into it too much.
No, because it's a lot of things, especially a lot of 90s music, got misconstrued. Like, if you pay attention to music, a lot of stuff people were making, like Wu-Tang, and you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people, it's really the blues. And no one, the hip hop, we call it pain music, but it's really the blues if you listen to it. And it got misconstrued, yes, there's some songs because the mixture of right. What people call braggadocious is called ego tripping. So the mixture, usually when you ego trip, you just brag how dope your lyrics are and how dope you are. You know what I'm saying? And that's, even from back in the days to now, I got bodyguards, I got 2 big cars, it definitely ain't the whack. Got a Lincoln Continental and a brand new Cadillac. So ego tripping has always been here. How dope your rhymes are, so on and so forth. Like the message, Melly Mel's, the message is really the blues.
Right.
Broken glass everywhere. People pissing on the station, but it's just an up-tempo beat. It's not, some songs are not sad.
It's like not a melancholy sound, basically, to it. Yeah, got you.
When you mix ego tripping and street, now you got, I got 25 keys and it's on these. It makes people think like, oh yeah, I need the drug. I need to sell drugs, or I need to have the gun on me. And it's misconstrued. You know what I'm saying? Like, can it all be like Wu-Tang's? Can it all be so simple? Like, it's a lot of songs that spoke on the blues, but you know what I'm saying? You could just hear it. People got it misconstrued.
So would you say then, because, hip hop a lot of time, well, back then more so, was a young person's genre, right? Like the people were, a lot of the supporters were young people and they're impressionable listening to it. Do you feel like that created that?
You have that, and also you have people who got to peek into a world that they know they will never know about. And they can see it from them. They can enjoy the show from there and won't get harmed. Or they can
almost like watching a movie.
Yeah. At a certain point, it got that way when they seen the success of it. Because, rap is the business, hip hop is the culture.
Right.
So a lot of people have hip hop within them, and they do it for, the culture of it, of, expressing their thing. But then, the business side come in and be like, oh, what I'm saying? Then they got to a point, they just started blocking people and be like, nah, we want you to make this type.
So in a way, art was imitating life, and then life imitated the art too.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing in an interview, you were saying that people love pain, right? So when you got to rap about something that really resonates with people, that really touches people. And that's why you didn't want to rap about the gangsta stuff. You wanted to do much more than that so that people could connect to it.
Right. I don't think it's like almost, I could say a lot of reckless stuff in the street life. And, you know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff, people wouldn't believe what I did. But it's why? Why try to influence another young individual to go down that path? Because no matter what, it's not worth it. It's nowhere near worth it. You know what I'm
Because you
saying?
have the
Like
credentials to do it too. Not everybody has the credentials to rap about it.
It's not, but it's not worth it at all. At all. Like, to think about the things I've survived through, like, my life could have been easily taken as lost as a young man, not knowing who I really were.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think about today's era of hip hop where people are actually rapping about crimes that they're committing and putting it in the music?
That's not hip hop. If you're signed, it's not hip hop. It's rap.
So drill rap, right? Like
that is it. I wish they wouldn't do it. I just wish they wouldn't do it, because you hear so many sad stories of someone could be successful, but he's created so many enemies, and now they have to live the life of running around with a gun. It doesn't make sense to me.
Right, because people typically enter this field to escape that lifestyle.
You would think.
Right. Now, back in the day, there was a lot more of a code, right? Like, even if you have an enemy, sometimes people have, no shooting on the Lord's Day, you know what I'm saying? Like, not mentioning the dead.
That depends on a different state. That did not affect it where I lived at. That rule didn't apply.
But you know what I mean? People have things that they believe in. It's like, not mentioning the dead after, even if you had issues with them. But in today's era, it's like, I'm pissing on my op's grave, fuck you and everything like that.
I mean, I like, really, that it's fucked up, but really in that part, it's just like, if you was an enemy, fuck you.
But
I hated that it's they look the same. I don't like that part, especially, surviving and being, I don't like that part. But I really don't. I don't want to put my views on that because it's different, and I don't want people get misconstrued. But
gotcha. Okay. So in 2014, you did Social Graffiti, right? And you felt like that was your lyrical revenge album. Before then, like you were saying previously, Prodigy and other people were telling you got to dumb it down a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, people aren't going to understand. Now, at this time, though, like, you started to feel like that wasn't really how you wanted to rap. Like, you weren't doing what you wanted to do. So can you talk about that?
Well, I didn't understand, like, I'm going through the phase of, okay, I'm trying to use imagination and street life together. So this is where I'm starting to say, like, my gun has a chain, or, what I'm saying, I will lyrically shoot you, or I will rob you and then go on tour. And it's just like, my words is a bullet, and people didn't hear none of that. All they heard was bullet, gun, shot. They didn't hear the other part of it. So it was just like, it was at times like, damn, I thought they would hear the creativeness of it.
Right, because in hip hop, we do that. We use, like, certain phrases, but we're talking about rapping, though.
Yeah.
Right.
And it just got, like, no one heard the creative part of it. And it was just like, you know what I'm saying? It's just still, it's like, I want to MC, and then, it's just like, the gun bars, it was just, at the same time, it was just like, I wanted to show people, Hold You Down was a song. I consider myself more of an MC than a rapper. So it was just like, I just wanted to go in, and shouts to everybody that contributed. I worked with a lot of people that I still can't believe I know them. Like, these are people I listened to when I was locked up, and now I know them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know the beat nuts. They know my name. You know what I'm saying? They're like, Sean Price, like Royal Flush, all these people is like, whoa, yo, I used to listen to y'all when I was in the street, and now y'all are my friends.
Right.
And, you know, y'all contribute to this situation, and shit is crazy to me.
How do you feel that album was received in comparison to the other ones?
A lot of people, I got wonderful reviews for Social Graffiti.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful reviews. A lot of people like Social Graffiti that I know of.
What did Prodigy say about how he felt about you moving in this other direction? Did he feel it was positive after the fact?
Oh, P always, whatever you wanted to do, P was always good with it. Unless it was like super, you know, I think in a sense he was trying to tell me, well, not even really tell me, but I didn't understand. I knew the difference between MCing and topics, but it was just like a lot of topics I wanted to talk about. It was like street stuff. And I was just like, people are not going to understand it. It took me years to figure out how to talk the way I'm talking now in my music.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, this needs to be heard in this sense. You know what I'm saying? I had to think about people such as, you know, people who use topics a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like Nas and DMX. And, you know, a lot of these people, you know what I'm saying, even going back to the Infamous, it's like, oh shit, like think about the situation and how you felt about it. So this is the way, you know, I do stuff now. Before I would do 80% MCing and 20% topic. Now I switched it. I would do 80% topic and maybe 20% MCing. But now I'm going to rap the way I want to rap. Like, I'm going to rhyme the way I want to, and I love it. If you don't get it, it's on you. You know what I'm saying? It's almost, I like the fact of using pretty much like it's poetic now. It's poetic because it's like double and triple entendres along with you know what I'm saying? The metaphors
Right.
it's everything in one shot. So I fucking love it.
So you're more into the artistry and the technical aspect of it.
Yeah.
So you've had some interesting titles for your albums, right? Suede Cigarettes, Fried Apple Juice, Jesus and Better Drugs, Angel Dust and Waffles, Denim Malt Liquor. What is the driving motivation behind that?
Feeling. All my albums is named after a feeling. If just imagine what it is. Trying to drink, imagine a beer bottle trying to drink the gene of it. But it's also metaphoric of let's get the gene part, the denim is the fashion. Let's get past all the fashion shit. You know, the fucking cover and, you know, the sales of it. And let's get to the liquor. Let's get you drunk off my music.
Mm.
So that's Denim Malt Liquor. Jesus and Better Drugs. My lyrics are so crazy, you're going to need Jesus or you're going to need better drugs. and what's the name? Angel Dust and Waffles. Angel Dust and Waffles just stand for good food that drives you crazy. Because I love fucking waffles. I love waffles.
What about Suede Cigarettes?
Suede cigarettes. All right. Cigarettes are addictive. And people know that they're dangerous and addictive, but yet they cannot stop smoking them. So lyrically, imagine that if you had to smoke a Suede cigarette. That's how deadly my words are. It's past nicotine. It's smoking Suede, which will destroy your lungs in 2 seconds.
Right. And then Fried Apple Juice.
Fried apple, like, do you know how hard or how strong your lyrics have to be that you can fry? You cannot fry a liquid unless it's frozen, and that's no longer a liquid. So
Right.
if you can fry apple juice, then you on a different level.
You know what's so smart is that like the title alone is so provoking to be like, you know what? I want to know what the hell this sounds like because, you know.
It happened. I tell you, it all started. I mean, I think it started with Bullet and the Bracelet, but fried apple. I mean, angel dust and waffles. That sold from the title alone.
Right.
If I knew about marketing then and had it towards marketing, because we had, and this was when the CDs was popping. We had the CD. It was a waffle. Like the CD was a waffle.
Wow.
With cocaine on it.
So do you come up with like the name first and you start working on the music, or like does the music inspire you to come up with the name?
Social graffiti, I said it in a rhyme. Because if people that really is not into the culture, if they hear it, all they hear is the curse words.
Right.
But if they start paying attention, just like graffiti, you'll start seeing the beauty in it. And you'll start seeing the letters. And
instead of the scribble scrabble, right?
Yeah, instead of the scribble scrabble, it'll start forming into, you start seeing the art of it. But it was a song I did with Sean Price, bless his soul, that I was like overdosing with potent social graffiti, and I was like, holy shit, that's the name of I'm naming the album. I have to name that.
But like the other ones, did you come up with the title first, or you just?
Yeah.
So you came up with the title, and then you were like, this, and then I'm gonna make the music after the fact.
Yeah.
Wow.
The next one is going to be Psychedelic Contraband.
Dope, man. That's so exciting, like to see what you're gonna come up with next, because all these titles is just amazing, you know. So you have this web series called New York Minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are on season 3 right now.
We're starting to film. It was, COVID, everything, a lot of things happened, which, and then just trying to get everything together to write it back. A lot has happened, like, just different things. So, yeah,
you guys have been doing it since when?
We
like
have
2014?
started filming again. Huh?
You guys have been doing it since like what, 2014, 26? It's been a minute.
It's been a bit. Yeah, it's been a little minute. Yeah, it's been a little minute, but but we're back filming again.
Right, but like, cause I remember like you had some episodes that you put out that were like 30 minutes and then you re-edited, right?
Yeah, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, actually. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know that one page is supposed to equal a minute of screen time. So I just pretty much ruled I didn't know none of that. And I was scared that I was going to be too lengthy. And so then when I filmed it, I was like, damn, that's this short. I didn't even realize these things are this short.
You were learning on the job.
Yeah.
So tell us about New York Minute for those like that don't know about it. What is it about?
New York Minute is about change and how hard it is to change in a hostile urban environment. Right? So favorite film guys is Scorsese, Spike Lee, and quite a other few that I've seen, but they pretty much were saying write what you know. So I took it in the aspect of what I felt like when I first came home from jail. I had quite a few friends that thought I was going to get it back popping. It's so crazy. One of my friends was like super hurt. Like, what? Like, oh, I don't even understand. What are you talking about? Like, what did they do to you in there? Like, this is not my man coming home right now. But it was just
like what do you mean you want to change your life?
Yeah,
right?
it was just like, what's like, he had a whole different idea. But it was just, it's basically what I did was I mixed the two of everybody meets. My name is Earl meets The Wire.
Mm.
So I put the character Deuce as a person who was a piece of shit before he went to jail. But when he went to jail, he started realizing that everything is a trap.
Right.
This is me. So Deuce is loosely based off me. And, once he come home, he wants better for his friends, but his friends feel like we've crossed that line too far. So stop now. And he's just like, nah, we don't have to do it. But, he was such a snake when he left, nobody believes he's changed. And he did a lot of people dirty.
I think what's so amazing about the series is basically you put the medicine inside the candy,
Hmm.
right? Because like you got the elements that people like to watch. You know, they like to see the street stuff and like the killing and all those different things, right? But at the same time, there's a deep story, there's a deep lesson inside of the show. It's so easy to go back to doing what you know. It's so much harder to change,
Yeah,
right? It's so and there's a lot of challenges that you're presented with when you come home. You know, it's hard to get a job as a convicted criminal. It's hard to change when you're going back to the same environment. There's a lot of barriers, and I think that
hmm.
you did a great job of presenting that in the series, right?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So,
Because
how did you come up with that idea, though?
because of well, the craze came about with the web series and just being arrogant, talking shit like I can do better than that. And then you just can't, when you say that, you just can't sit there and do nothing. You gotta, you can't talk and don't do nothing. So, like I said, I picked up a book in jail on how to write characters. So I started learning. Plus, I know what type of TV shows I like. I like the bullshit. I like if, me and Panda Chop grew up together and, what I'm saying, Panda Chop is secretly having sex with my sister. I don't know about it. But yet, what I'm saying, we got another. I like that shit on
Oh, you
TV.
like the
I like the
salacious stuff.
bullshit.
You like the salacious stuff.
Yeah, I like the bullshit of, what I'm saying? The secrets of so-and-so having this secret and that secret. You like, oh my shot. Because, what I'm saying? When you give a character a secret, it's how far will they go to protect it?
Right. So, like, how did you find enough financing for this? Because it's not cheap to do this either.
No, but something I learned, blessed the day from Prodigy. If you know you can't afford to do it, don't write it. Like if I can't afford to rent out a jail scene or find a connection of doing it, don't write it in the script.
Wow.
If you know you can't afford a fucking, a car chase or whatever it is, or something exploding or making it look realistic, don't write it in there.
Because then it will lead to disappointment that you can't do it.
Yeah, it looks cheesy and it looks nasty.
Right.
It looks disgusting. Like you don't want to do that. So I kept it simple. That's why I try not to show too much violence in it because it's not about that. It's about what they're going on in their lives. Deuce is trying to change his life. Simone is looking for love. Moss is trying to connect with his family. Frizz wants to be a millionaire and has no clue how to do it. And Trav has a family secret that he's trying to keep.
How much of this is influenced by people that you've known in your life?
All of it. All of it. Like I said, Deuce is loosely based off me coming home from jail. Trying understanding like, yo, this ain't the shit we supposed to be doing. And then having friends like, man, fuck that. I'm doing what I need to do.
Right. So are you having any people help you co-write it, or you writing it all?
Nah, I wrote everything myself.
And you're producing it all? Like you don't have any other executive producers or anything?
No.
Wow. And you're hiring editors, or you're editing it yourself?
I edit it too.
Damn. This man is doing it all. And it's a lot of work, man. I hope you guys really give it a chance.
It is. It is. The first
editing
season
is not easy. Me. It's like the longest process too.
The first season killed me so bad, my brother, because, I didn't know about the air, and hip hop actually helped me. Doing music helped me along with the second season because I used to hear the air with the microphone, and they used to drive me up the wall. My brother would be like, calm down, calm down. You don't have the equipment they have. You know what I'm saying? But then in season 2, I learned there's a fucking, there's an equalizer. Like, oh shit. And the simple, you could just take out the high frequency and shit sounds like a wonderful, Like the mic is professional, and then, you know, the boom mic and having friends and trying to film and hold the boom mic myself while filming. Like we did it all. Like my boy Dave, which is helped me in this, you know, the second season. You know, we just did an amazing thing with, you know, I bought 2 cameras and, you know, my friend let me hold the camera just in case, you know, to try to shoot a certain scene. Because, I mean, technically, every scene's supposed to have 3 different shots. It's supposed to be a close-up, a mid, and a wide shot. And just for time, it's just like, nah, we're just going to do a mid and, you know, we use the far shots for the beginning and the ending. There's no need to do the whole thing. But yeah, I just did the best I could for, you know, what we had. And you know what I'm saying? Because it's everything has learning. I'm learning everything has a meaning. Everything. Like there's a story within the story while film. Like if you look at like season 1, when Trav has a conversation with his mother, when I show, all right, Trav doesn't get along with his mother because he feels she allowed him to be abused as a young child.
Mm.
So whenever Trav speaks, if you notice, he's in the shot by himself. But when the mother speaks, I show her and Trav because she's trying to make a connection with him. When he's by himself, he wants nothing to do with her. And that's how you tell the story within the story.
Dropping some jewels, man. Look at that. Yo, that intro too, things happen in a New York minute. That intro is fire.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I've got cursed out many times when 50 Cent changed the intro to Power.
Right.
A lot of people hit me. It was like, don't you think about changing
right.
New York, man? Don't you even think about it. Don't you think about it.
No, people get used to things, man, you know? Yeah. So like they don't want you to change it.
No.
Yeah. So you had a very close relationship with your mother, right? Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, she passed away in August of 2014. Rest in peace. Can you talk about, you know, what that was like for you? Because it wasn't a sudden death, fast death. It was you were watching her deteriorate, right?
Yeah. It was slow. And to see her like almost not fight no more was strange. Because like I said, she's a fighter. Never heard that woman complain. Never.
What did she pass away from?
Body just gave out. Heart just gave out, really.
From old age, basically?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you were around taking care of her while you were doing all these other things with your career, though, which is very demanding as well. So it's a very difficult thing to balance, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's a hard thing as we age because we start to, you know, we look at a lot of times, especially if you have a close relationship with your parents, it's like they're almost like superheroes to us. You know, like the way that you say that you saw your mom always fighting, that she seems so strong, right? And it's like, it's hard to see them differently. What do you remember like those moments with her towards the end?
Yeah, I mean, it was more difficult because basically the hospitals really just, you know, if her insurance didn't cover it, they were just like, oh yeah, we got to move her somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? It was just really, and then we had to get like a home health aide to come through and watch her to do certain things that me and my brother couldn't do. And it's just, you know, she wasn't eating much. And it was just like slowly just, you know, seeing her just, you know, pass away.
That's the other thing that's terrible in this country, right? You can't afford to be sick. A lot of times you can't afford these medical bills and you're already hurting so much on the inside without having to think about this is draining my pockets. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a terrible thing. Did that experience bring you and your brother closer?
I mean, me and my brother always been close, so I don't think we just kept it the same. It was
Mhm.
just like we understood who the woman was. We know who that lady is. And it was just like, we did as much and as much as we could. When it's your time, it's your time. Of course it hurt, but also it was like a terrible thing. Like three things happened, you know. It's like I was in a good relationship and that was messed up. My son lost my son in court, and then my mom's passed, and then the year later Sean Price passed. Like it was just like I was very like at that moment was like super depressed, but I just refuse. One thing I refuse to be bullied by anything, so I like just really like pick myself up. Had to pick myself up, and New York Minute helped me get my mind state back together, pretty much.
So you threw yourself into the work.
Yeah,
Got you. Yeah, because from what I understand, it was Sean Price that helped you through that dark time, right?
yeah. That was the crazy part. You know what I'm saying? He helped me. He used to be like, "Yo, let's go rap. Come on, get out the house. Let's go rap." And then he dies in the same month, a year later as my mom's.
Right. So then on August 8th, 2015, Sean Price passes away, right? Rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
When did you first meet him?
I met Sean years ago. He said I first met I don't remember it, but he said I first met him at, I believe, NYU. DJ Eclipse, shout out to DJ Eclipse. They used to have like a year-end cypher at the end. And he said, I met him on the steps and he was like, "Pete, Sean Price, the best rapper alive." And he said, I made a face like, "Nigga, what? Like, are you fucking kidding me?" And he was like, "I'll never forget your face." She was like, "Fuck out of here." And, and then it was just like, we had a mutual friend and, he used to be like, you and Illa should do a song. And he was like, "Who, to hold you down, nigga? I don't think I'm alive."
Right. So then that was the Price to Be Illa, right?
That was the first song we ever did together.
Yeah, that was the first song. But what was your first impression of him though? Like, because you knew his music, right? But you didn't know him at first. So
No, I was naive to underground stardom.
Okay.
I was still in the place of you had to be signed and you had to be. I was not. Sean woke me up to underground stardom because when we did Price to Be Illa, like it took off so fast that I was like, all right, I know my videos averaged about 5,000 views. But when it started going to 20, 30, I was like, "Nigga, I was like, oh, you famous for real." I was like, because I was like, it ain't me, nigga. I was like, wow, this shit is crazy.
And you saw him the day before he passed away, right?
Yeah, we did a video. That's the crazy shit. We did Figure More.
What was his aura like that day? Was he in good spirits?
Sean Price, regular Sean Price.
So you end up finding out that he passed away and you were like in disbelief, right?
Yeah. My lady at the time, she was moving to Jersey and I was helping her move. And she came downstairs and said, "Sean is gone." And I was like, "Huh?" She was like, "Sean is gone." Fern said Sean died. I was like, "What?" And I was just numb. I think I had a paper in my hand. I just stared at it. I wasn't reading it, but I was just staring like, really? Like, it was just like, really? Like, it just don't, nah, he can't, no, it can't be gone. No.
Did like that moment, like did like the sound cut off, like when you heard the news, or like what was it like?
It just felt numb. It just felt numb. It's just like, no, it's just like you did almost deny. It's like, nah, he can't be gone. Like, really? Nah. Like how? Like what? Like I'm confused. Like I don't understand.
So then you're like sitting in the truck for a while, right? Because then you left your phone back in Brooklyn at the time, and you're in Jersey,
Yeah.
right?
I'm just like I don't. It's crazy. Like what? Like it's crazy.
And then you received confirmation from, was it your brother, or who was it?
Uh, I forgot. I forgot who it was. I think we seen it. Because I know Byrne had put it up on Twitter and then snatched it back down. Probably, I don't know. Probably, I don't know. It was just crazy.
So from what I could find, they never released the cause of death, right? Because he had passed away in his sleep.
Yeah, that I don't know. I don't know what the cause is.
It's just unfortunate, man, because you were close with him. He didn't like a lot of people, right? You know what I mean? But he liked you, even though you was the hold you down guy, you know, I mean, at first. But and you were just with him like that. I couldn't imagine what that felt like. Like I just saw him like X amount of hours ago. Like what do you
Yeah.
mean? Do you ever think about like that was like his last gift to you, like in a way? Like
Sean came to Sean came to my house after he passed.
right. And we're gonna get into that too. But like 2 weeks after his passing, right? The mixtape Songs in the Key of Price came out. And
Mm-hmm.
you were on 6 different songs. Now, those songs were supposed to be on your guys' album Metal Detectors, right? Which later on came out as an EP.
Mm-hmm.
What was the decision in putting those songs on that mixtape instead?
We could do more songs. Sean never liked naming. He didn't want to say, let's do an album. He'd just be like, let's record songs. And then after a while, I'd be like, how many songs do we got? All right, then let's pick these, put this here. Let's pick these, and put these here.
I couldn't believe that you said, I'm the 6 bullets that hit Suge Knight. When I heard you say that, I was like, yo, the production on that EP though was fire too. You know,
Yeah.
who did the cover for the album, the EP?
The original cover was done by my guy named Crash. Crash drew the original, and then I think they took it to somebody else to like they did it over.
So Duck Down, right?
Yeah.
It was done through there. Yeah. And how did you feel like after that project came out posthumously, you know, after his death, that he wasn't here to see it?
I mean, what Metal Detectors? I wasn't going to release Metal Detectors because I
Really?
had songs, and because I didn't want, like, I feel it's corny. Like, you put out music of a friend of after he passed. It was when Byrne made me, his wife made me think about it. She was like, look, I'm going to just tell you this. She's like, he really wanted to do a project with you. And she was like, other than that, I was just like, hey, either it's not going to come out or I'm going to put it out for free. And she was just like, look, just, if you're going to put it out, just, I know he really, that I've seen the notes he had and pretty much like he wanted to do a project with you. So if Byrne would have never told me that, Metal Detectors would have never came up.
Was it because like you didn't want it to appear like you're benefiting off of your friend's death, basically?
Right. Exactly.
Because a lot of times when people release things posthumously, right, it's usually not right. You know what I mean? Like as far as like the sound of it, like certain things, it's like you could tell they're throwaway records or like, it just it's not great. It doesn't seem like it's like the blessing the artist would have given, But I felt like the EP was really dope, man. Like you guys did a great job on it. In the end, you were happy with it though?
Yeah. It was.
So it's October 2015, right? You're getting ready to sleep, fall asleep, and you have a dream of Sean Price. Can you tell that story?
Yeah, I really thought it was a dream. Pass out, normal night, me and my lady at the time. And, it was a dream. We in a white car, seats all white, no driver. He's, like, he got on the college jacket, the Letterman's jacket with the
Yeah, the
P,
Leatherman.
with the hat. I can see his beard. I can see his face, but he has no mouth and no eyes. Like, can't see that. So I'm in the back seat. We talking. Like I said, we're driving, but there's no driver. So we're talking, so on and so forth. And, we laughing and everything. And I'm like, yo, did you do that? And, no answer. He turns and look out the window. Next thing I know, the car's gone. I'm laying in a puddle of water. Don't know what that symbolism means, whatever. See a house right there, knock on the door. It's his wife. So I'm like, yo, you and him need to talk. Y'all need to talk. He comes across the room. He sits in a chair across the room. I'm like, yo, do you see him? She's like, mm-hmm. Once again, he turns away from her. Some lady, I don't know, comes across, sit next to me in the chair, and I can see the shape of her head. It was like almost asymmetrical. She was a tall woman, wide hips. But once again, I can see her shape in her eyes. She has no eyes or no mouth. And she says to me, why does he need to speak to you? And I'm like, I don't know. So then it's just like all of a sudden, it seems like he's trying to leave. So now this whole thing has changed. So now I'm grabbing him as he's trying to leave. I grabs him. He has a hood on. I'm trying to pull the hood off his head. And I'm like, yo, look me in the face, Sean. Look me in the face. Did you do that? Look me in the face. Trying to take the hood off. All of a sudden, Phil, hand grab my nose. I wake up and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, oh. So my lady at the time busts out crying, and just turns over. I'm like, what? Was I talking in my sleep? And then she was like, I seen him. And I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, I seen Sean over you. And I was just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. So, and she was like, no, I seen him. So I was just like, all right, what'd he look like then? And then she described him. Had a black hood. His face was black with black eyes. She's like, I seen you grab him. Like you're grabbing him. How the fuck do you grab a spirit? She's seen it. There's no way in hell she could know what it looks like. How do I grab a spirit?
Wow. I don't even know how to describe that. Did you believe in like supernatural things prior to this?
Oh, that shit woke me up. I now shut the fuck up about that shit. That shit is real. That is there's a lot of things around us you'd be amazed. Like that shit woke me up. That is like the illa. I was okay with it being a dream until she said what she said. I got nervous because I don't understand how this thing, where the fuck was I that you can grab it? Like she seen me grab the hood trying to take it off his head.
Did she
While I'm
describe
laying
any other
down.
details though, like about that situation? Did she say anything else to you after that?
No, she described that. I thought she was going to describe Sean. She described what she saw, and that's what I saw.
No, but I mean, like, what was like did she talk about like being taken back when she first saw it happen? Did she like share her side of seeing things like?
She just said she was scared to death.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
that's
Okay.
how she knew if I wake up, it would disappear. So that's why she grabbed my nose to stop me from breathing.
Wow. And then after that fact, I heard that you you had to go to sleep with the TV on.
Yeah, I still don't cut the TV on.
Because you're afraid of people visiting you while you're going to sleep?
I ain't got time. I ain't got time. I mean, it's just like I'm trying to get better with it. But yeah, that was something. That was something. That was something.
Because you know how they say that sleep is the cousin of death? So it's like almost like that's
Yeah,
like a portal for you to have people visit you. You know, like that.
yeah,
That's crazy. Did you go
yeah.
down?
That is a whole nother thing. I hear things from different people and all other things, and that is like, hey, people like, oh, you're powerful. You don't know how powerful you are. That shit scares the shit out of me when people tell me that. So I don't know.
Oh, did you go to like a psychic or those type of people?
Nah,
Like,
it's quite a few people that talk to me about that spirit shit, and that shit. They was like, yeah, you're different, and it fucks me up, and I don't want to. I ain't ready for that.
so you didn't go down a rabbit hole on YouTube to like search supernatural things or anything like that?
Nope, left it alone. Because it's so crazy. I used to watch a show that and what's the name? Celebrity ghost stories.
Right.
And yeah, I totally know. I don't believe I know. Shit happens.
That's crazy, man. That's a different experience that like I know that you can never like forget about. You know, have you
Never.
analyzed the symbolism of that situation, like the water?
I would like to understand why I couldn't see. Like now, you got me digging and shit. I try to leave it alone, but I would like to try to understand why that whatever it was, I couldn't see their eyes or their mouth, but I can hear them talk. Why was we in a car? Why was the seats all white? Right? Why wasn't there a driver? I'm leaning on the front seat like it was when, the old cars that all the seat was together, like the
Right,
both
right.
rear driver and passenger seat is one. Like it was all white. Everything inside of it was white. And I'm leaning on it, talking to him. The thing is like I'm not bugging out on that we're driving with no driver. And it's just me and him talking. I'm in the back seat, he's in the front. Why all of a sudden, like, the car disappears and I'm laying in a puddle of water? What the fuck does that mean? And I get up. My clothes ain't wet. I get up, my
You told
clothes
his
ain't
wife
wet.
about the dream, right?
Huh?
You ended up telling his wife about the dream?
Oh, I went to his house the very next fucking day and was like, you and Sean need to talk. And she was like, yeah, I already know. Like she said some shit that like, it's different. She said some shit to me. She was like, yeah, he be in here knocking shit over. His daughter at the time was still talking to him while he wasn't here.
Yo, because they say that kids have more of those experiences than adults do.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I went there the very next day and was like, you and Sean need to fucking talk. I don't know what's going on, but y'all need to fucking talk now.
And then you ended up finding out the woman that sat next to you was his mom, right?
Was his mom's.
Wow, man.
Because when I described her to his wife, she was like, that's his mother. And I was like, what? She was like, you never seen a picture of his mother? And she showed me. And I was like, wow, that is the shape. Like, that is that woman's shape. Like, the shit I seen, that was that woman's shape.
And you had never seen her before? That's crazy. That's crazy.
And it made sense to why she sat next to me and was like, why does he need to talk to you?
But the message of the dream was more about him needing to talk to his wife, right?
I don't know. I really don't know. But It fucked me up. Fucked me up.
We're going to leave it there. So, June 20th, 2017, Prodigy passes away in Las Vegas, right? Rest in peace. How did you find out and what was your immediate reaction?
Twin text me. I got 3 texts from Twin. Shouts to Twin. Twin said, yo, call me back. Call me back now. Call me back now. It's bad. And when I called him, he was like, P died. And I was like, huh? He's like, that nigga P gone. I was like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. He's like, yeah, P gone.
When you heard the cause of death, what was your thoughts?
It couldn't have been that. Because it sounded like the same scenario of Sean. While he was asleep, he threw up and it choked him. It's not that he threw up an egg. I don't know where they get the egg shit from. But
It said that he
like,
choked on an egg.
Yeah, no. It's like, if you're like, if you with a friend and they're twisted, they're drunk, you never lay them on your back.
Right.
Or even if you knock somebody out, don't let them lay on their back. You always turn them to their side. You bend one knee up, you put one arm out. So therefore, if they have to throw up, it's not stuck. It just throws up and comes out on the side. And to my knowledge, both of them were sleeping on their back, and that's what happened.
How do you feel about the fans that have said that P was in the process of writing a book about the Illuminati and they believe that he was killed because of that?
That's their theory. If that's what they feel it is, it is. I don't know. I don't know what to tell them. I don't know what to tell them.
But do you personally believe that?
No, I don't. But people going to have their own stories. I mean, we supposed to did a project years ago called the Red and Green Pill. So the red pill was going to be like all wild street shit, and the green pill we was going to talk about the government. And I told one of my friends that idea, and he was just like, "Don't do it." He was like, "Don't do it." He was like, "I seriously love you. I do not want them to come after you."
Because it seemed like towards the end of P's life, right, he started to elevate to a different space almost. You know what I mean? Like the things that he was discussing in his music, the topics and stuff, he seemed what some people would say enlightened.
Mm-hmm.
The topics, the different things. He was more concepts in his music, right? Even the entire CDs. And I think that's why some of the fans started to believe that they didn't want people, the quote unquote powers that be didn't want him doing that. But from your discussions with him, you never heard about him writing a book about the Illuminati or anything like that?
No, we always sneak things in there that we learned.
Mm-hmm.
Sneak things in there. But also at the same time, understanding why P did all the things make sense of why he did what he did. Because of everything P did is because of his sickle cell. He wanted his story and everything to be heard and seen before he passed away. Because he figured that the sickle cell around the time of 40 something that it can possibly die. So everything he said, everything he did was because of his sickle cell. He wanted to leave everything on the table before he passed away.
But he never specifically stated that, hey, I'm working on this book about the Illuminati or anything.
No, not to me, no.
Got you. Okay. Because then I think I saw Havoc said that he didn't believe that either. I think he said that on Drink Champs.
Mm-hmm.
But we know, like in this era with the internet, it's like people overanalyze everything. There's this certain amount of bottles on the table, so they were trying to send this message, those type of things. Since P has passed, do you think hip hop has done a good job at respecting his legacy and memory?
Yeah, I yeah. You can't deny the poetry he has put on the street. You can't deny that of way because I always felt P was the type of person that rapped like he was pointing a finger at you, and that's what I loved about it. It felt like he was rapping like this. There's a war going on outside, no man is safe from, and I always liked it.
Right. You and Mobb Deep had a relationship like most relationships. There's going to be ups and downs. You know, you were very affiliated in the beginning and then you kind of went off and did your own thing. How was your relationship with them before Prodigy passed?
It was wonderful. He said we had a talk on my birthday, right, right before not right before he passed, and we talked about something, and like, he came to the party, and while we were talking, I was like, "Yo, I wish you would have never said what you said," and he said, "What did I say?" And it was just like he said, he said, "For me to put you on a song because we're friends is a form of extortion." And, and I'm not with that. And when
And
I
that
told
was
him
the
that,
thing that got you to separate yourself from.
yeah, I kind of fell back after that. But when I said that, he said, "What?" He said, "I said that?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Why you think I fell back?" He was like, "I never knew why you fell back." He was like, "I said that? That's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life." And we bust out laughing. And I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, "You don't remember that?" I was like, "We was in your truck and this and that." And he was like, "I never knew why you fell back." He said, "I never knew. I never understood why." He said, "Ah, man, like, I can't believe." He said, "I apologize." He said, "I said that?" He said, "That's the dumbest shit I ever heard."
What did it feel like for you to hear him say that? Because I know it was sitting inside your chest for so long.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what was going on with him. You know what I'm saying? I really don't know what was going on, but I was just like, whoa, me? I was like, me? You feel that, it was really the extortion part for me. Like, really, you feel like that with me? You know what I'm saying? A form of extortion. Like, me? Me? A form of extortion? And I was just like, you know what? I just, that didn't sit right with me. And I was just like, I'll just fall back.
I meant more to hear him apologize to you and say that that was stupid.
Oh, it was just funny because it was a lack of communication, basically. Like, it just never understood. Like, it was just pretty much a lack of communication. And to see that, or, to see that for a while, to, like, you know what, like, just let them do their thing over there and I'ma just chill. You know what I'm saying?
Was he smoking at the time that he said that to you? Because sometimes we say dumb things, right? Like that we don't think means a lot to somebody else. That.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. He smoked weed all the time, so I don't know where his mind state was when he said it.
Right. And so that was the last time that you saw him, right? Was at your birthday party?
Yeah, at my birthday.
And how that was like how many months before he passed?
Because I know I was supposed to. Somebody had a studio session, and I was supposed to have went, and I didn't. I wound up not going, and then I think maybe a month or so after that, he passed.
Wow. Do you ever regret that you didn't go?
Yeah, of course. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
It
some
was.
people don't live with regrets, so I don't know, like if.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, hey, man, I wish because he's supposed to. When I told him about the idea of New York Minute, and I put a clip up of what we was doing with New York Minute, and he was like, "I don't give a fuck what's going on. I need to be in that." He was like, he was a guy named Lord Nez plays Piccolo. Prodigy was supposed to be Piccolo in New York
Oh
Minute,
wow.
and that's why Piccolo name is um what I think is what I put his name is like I think it's John Albert. because it was the reverse of what Prodigy.
Right.
Yeah. I think his name is John Albert, but it was Piccolo. But P was supposed to be Piccolo.
That seems right up P's alley because you know how he shot his movie in Queensbridge and everything, and he was all about doing things independently on your own. He really seemed to have found himself while he was locked up too, you know, to like refocus and everything.
Speaking of that, you know, like years ago, he told me both of us would get locked up. He said he went to a psychic. I don't know why I should have just shut the fuck up, but he told me years ago, that he went to a psychic and she told him, you and a close friend will have issues and y'all both will be locked up.
Wow.
She's like, but y'all straighten it out.
What was his reaction when he told you that? Like, what did he think when he heard it?
He just said it normally. He told me he went to psychics quite a few times, but I was just like, couldn't be. I was like, that don't mean. I was like, blah, I don't believe it. Like, it'll never happen.
What year is this that he tells you this?
During the infamous time.
Wow. So way before you catch the 6-year charge and before he catches the gun charge and everything.
Yep. He said the way the lady described the person that you'll have problems, he was like, she described you. And I was like, I don't believe it. I was like, for what? What we are? I was like, that don't make sense.
So when you actually catch the charge, did you remember that moment that he said that? Or you remembered it years later?
Yeah. But I mean, my shit was, for me, it was just like, I'm going to get locked up or get killed sooner or later. So I was just like, I still ain't think about it.
Got you.
But then when he got locked up, I was like, holy shit. But then I was just like, okay, we both got locked up, but us having issues, well, in fact, oh shit, we did. Damn. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I can't believe, like, I'm like, really? I was like, holy shit, I remember that shit. He said that years way before that.
So when he had said what he said about the extortion thing, that was prior to him getting locked up, right?
Yeah.
But then like you guys started to straighten things out a little bit while he was locked up. Like you guys had conversations and everything.
I mean, we talked, the thing we talked about, I was upset with him for letting Jay-Z escape. I was like, come on. I was like, you took it too personal. I needed you to MC. That's what I was upset at. You let him off the hook. I needed you to MC, not get it personal. Like, that was the time to MC. That's what it was just like, oh, it was killing my insides because I would have loved to be a part, like, loved it. Like, MC, like, that was it. That was it.
Because he had been taking shots at Jay for a minute, though, during that time, right?
Yeah,
but he never dropped a bomb, like a real, like, ether or something like that.
He needed to sit down. Like, I really felt like if he would have took, if P would have just rhymed on Burn, going at Jay-Z by himself. Or quiet, like to buy him, like just went straight.
Like a real hard beat. He would have.
Like just let it be known. No subliminals. No, I'm talking to you, nigga. Talking to you.
Right. I saw in a video you had said that you wish that Prodigy would visit you the same way that Sean Price did.
Yeah, at one point in time, yeah.
But you a little scared
right
now?
Right now, I just, you know what I'm saying? Right now, I don't want to, like, speak all that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Yeah, too many friends and cousins and all that other shit, like, you know. But, yeah, if anybody I would like to see, it would be my moms and Prodigy.
Because you had that special relationship with him from an early age. Like, I know Price you met later on down the line, you know, and you guys built a great bond, but like you got to see P during different stages of your guys' lives.
Yeah.
you know?
He used to hide. He used to hide from the industry in my crib. Like if he'd be like, yeah, sometimes he would come over and he would stay for a week and just pretty much just sleep. Like we'll go get something to eat, come back, smoke. He'll pass out, and he'd be like, he wouldn't answer his phone, nothing. But he must have ran his mouth one time because I remember one time he disappeared and the label called my house. Like, you've seen Prodigy?
Wow.
No.
Do you think that his body just got exhausted from this type of field that is very draining?
I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. That's sickle cell or something.
Right.
Uh,
Now, do you have any regrets about falling back and not communicating to him from like early on that, hey, I'm upset?
I don't regret it. It's just a learning lesson. I just wish, it's not a regret. I just wish I would have spoke on it.
Got you.
You
Okay.
know, as a friend, you speak on it, you just don't hold it in. But that's just like, one of my natural traits. The Scorpio thing is just like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna just fall back.
But a couple of things played factors into that though as well, right? Because like I know people were viewing you as, oh, you the bodyguard for Mobb Deep, and you didn't like that notion. Like you didn't want to be known as that. Like so you separating kind of helped.
I don't even know how that came about. That I was Prodigy's goon. I don't even know how that came about. I don't even know. Nobody has never seen anything I've done. I don't even know where that came from, but all I know, whenever he was with me and my people, nothing happened to him.
But it didn't help because of the book either, though. That the way that you were presented.
Oh, that book,
the way you were presented
book
was like, you that dude, So
yeah, listen, if you listen to Sean was like, nigga, the book made it seem like you had all the guns. The book made it sound like you had all the guns.
I feel like when you look at some of the interviews that he did towards the end of his life, he didn't say it outright, but he kind of expressed regret about the way that he handled certain situations where he had issues with other people and other rappers and things. Did he ever talk to you like maybe he regretted writing the book or anything?
No, I told you he did it because of his sickle cell. He wanted his story told. He didn't want nobody else to tell a story but him.
So you had a lot of dark years, big things happening back to back. Like you said, your mom, your son, you got out of this relationship that, you were deeply in. Then all of a sudden Sean Price passes away, right? And then Prodigy passes away like 2 years down the line. You've been through so much in your life and career. How have you been able to weather the storm?
Learning more about me. Learning being strong with me. Learning how to be a man and control your emotions, how to express your emotions. To learn to deal with the trauma, heal yourself. To understand what you went through, and now it's time to push on. Create that inner peace within you. You have to do that.
How difficult has that been to learn those skills?
It hasn't been difficult. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing.
But
and that's something as men, we need to pass down to our sons and our daughters.
But it wasn't challenging at all for you to learn how to do that?
It's shocking. It's shocking. You'd be like, oh shit. Just like, I never realized I had PTSD. And they were like, then later on, it's like, yeah, I know I had PTSD.
What do you think caused that? Well, I mean, you've been through so many different things, you know what I mean? Like it could have been the stuff that you witnessed as a child.
All I'm going to say, once again, I'm going to tell you, the neighborhood I grew up in is a shooter's neighborhood.
Right.
That's all I'm going to say.
Got you. Okay. And so you were saying that passing that down to your children has been very important, right?
Yeah. To teach To teach my little cousins, my male cousins, to how to be a man is a wonderful thing. How to have confidence, not to be afraid of rejection. You know what I'm saying? A lot of issues young men have now. They don't have nobody telling them, hey, don't be afraid of rejection. It's part of life. You're going to hear a lot more no's than yes, but don't stop. You know, if you try to talk to a girl, she tells you no, then what? Okay. Did you fall down? Did you get locked up? Did you lose your hand? No. Then that's not the person for you. You continue on because you might get that yes. And then it's like, holy shit. Then you have to understand, be confident in yourself. Women love confidence. Be confident in yourself. Know that when you look yourself in the mirror, you see a king. Like you are dominant. Like you're that guy, and you need to stay that. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes are learning lessons. You know what I'm saying? Like this is something that they need to hear. Because if they don't, they just like, you know what I'm saying? You get wild things of when a girl tells them no, then they be like, fuck you, bitch, and throw a bottle at them because they are fear, like their fear of being, everything is like, oh, I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to read to everyone because I don't want to stutter and people make a joke of it. No, you have to be toughen your skin up. Also, if you have that confidence, you know how if you make a mistake and keep on pushing. But mistakes are learning lessons.
You're absolutely right, because I think that a lot of us didn't receive that growing up, you know?
No, not at all. Not at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, my mother nor my father taught me how to hug a woman or how to speak or to express my feelings or, you know what I'm saying? You taught, like, you can't really express your emotions. You just can't. As a dude, you can't. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with it. That doesn't make you, expressing your emotions doesn't make you a bitch. It helps you. It helps you tremendously. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
something
Because
else. Yeah.
as an adult, male or female, we must learn to control our emotions. If we give women a pass all the time, no. If men have to control it, women have to control it too. We're both emotional beings. Sometimes you don't want to fight. You just want to chill out. But that has to be taught. Control your emotions. Not telling you not to have them. You're human. You're going to have them. But you need to control them. You need to understand everything ain't for to be blurred out and said. Because once you say it, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to apologize for what you said. Why? Because when you said it, you should mean it. So don't blurt things out that you don't mean. Take your time and learn how to express your words. Use your words, as we tell kids. Use your words. If you control your emotions, you won't blurt out. You know what I'm saying? So if you said that, you meant that.
That's another thing that I was about to bring up too, because, as children, boys are not taught to be able to communicate things the same way that girls are, right? It's okay for girls to cry and express their feelings and their emotions that way. For us, it's like we express things through anger, and it doesn't provide the same relief that shedding tears does, And then all of a sudden we grow up, and then women in our lives wonder, why is he so closed off? He doesn't communicate with me. He doesn't talk to me. He doesn't tell me things and stuff. And then you wonder why. Mm-hmm. Why, right?
Because if you try to express to your partner and they make a joke out of it, most men are shut down. And they'll be like, I will never express anything to you ever again.
That's a fact. Tell me something you have never said in an interview before, whether it's a story or an interesting fact about yourself.
Can't say it.
Can't say it. All right. All right, G. I just want to thank you so much for your time. Is there anything you want to say to the people before we go ahead and wrap it up?
Elegy.net is the website. Get the music, get the merch. That's it.
That's it.